Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, I did not watch all of the Republican debates. For one thing, every now and then I just had to change the channel to take a break from the stupidity. And also I had a gig, and so I had to leave before the end of the debates. But I did watch the recaps on the news and kind of caught up on the stuff that I missed. What was striking about it is how dangerous these Republican candidates are to this country. Donald Trump repeated all of the anti-vaxxer myths, and Rand Paul and Ben Carson also weighed in on that. Now, none of those people are any more qualified to comment about vaccines than Jenny McCarthy is. But since Paul and Carson have doctor attached to their names, people might actually think that they know what they're talking about. They don't. Essentially, they committed malpractice in front of 20 million people. And Trump's followers, they'll believe anything he says. So that was a setback for the country. They also acted as though the Planned Parenthood video, which has been proven to be a hoax, was a real thing, justifying their plan to deprive millions of women of health care services. And of course, most of them want to tear up the Iran deal and set America on a course to war. Interestingly, they described the American military as weak. The most technically advanced, best trained, best equipped, and well-financed military in the world. They called it weak. We spend more than the next 7 countries as far as combined on our military. They talked about how the Navy doesn't have as many ships as they used to. And then that's true. The Navy doesn't have as many ships as it used to. But I recently took a tour of an American destroyer. It only has one gun, one big gun, but that gun is more powerful, more accurate, and has a better range than the old ships we used to have. And that ship had 2 different types of missiles. Basically, that one ship had as much firepower as an entire battle group used to have back in the day. So yes, we do have fewer ships than we used to. We also have fewer horses, lances, spears than we used to. That doesn't mean our military is weaker than it used to be. It's true, our military has suffered through 2 poorly planned and ill-advised wars. Now, the war in Afghanistan, I'm not saying that was an unnecessary war because we needed to get bin Laden. But then we basically stopped paying attention to it and let the problems fester. And because of that, that war went on for probably 6 years longer than it needed to, because of the poor planning and negligence of the Bush administration. The war in Iraq was totally unnecessary. And yes, those unnecessary wars have had a debilitating effect on our military people, especially in the Army, the Marines, and the reserves. But involving them in another unnecessary war with Iran is certainly not going to solve that problem. And naturally, they blamed Obama for withdrawing the troops from Iraq when it was George W. Bush that signed the agreement to do that. They debated for 3 hours last night, and hardly anything that they said had anything to do with reality. Thanks for listening.